Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Tupper fired. Reggae Boys head coach Theodore Tupper Whitmore has been sacked by the Jamaica Football Federation (JFF), sources within the JFF inform reporters. Whitmore's dismissal comes amid a disappointing final round 2022 World Cup qualifying campaign for the Reggae Boys, who are clinging to fading hope of a trip to Qatar for the Global Showcase. President of the JFF, Michael Ricketts, said he would not discuss the matter when contacted Thursday morning. "Can't comment until we finalize discussions with the coach," Ricketts stated. Whitmore has been heavily criticized for his handling of the national team, with an assembly of professional footballers who are applying for their trade in Europe and North America. The Reggae Boys are languishing at the bottom of the CONCACAF standing. After 8 matches, the Reggae Boys are lying in 6th position in the 8-team playoff. They are on 7 points from 1 win, 4 draws and 3 losses, with 6 matches remaining. Man Jones in Manchester. The Porous Police in Manchester are probing the death of 18-year-old Jalan Simpson of Pacer Drive, Clarendon, who drowned at a river in Tullis District, Manchester on Tuesday, December 7. Reports are that about 2:30 p.m., Simpson was swimming at the river when he got into difficulties. His body was found and retrieved on Wednesday, December 8. Investigations continue. Man wanted for murder captured in Westmoreland, 4 charged for harboring him. A man wanted for murder has been apprehended and 4 others have been taken into custody for harboring him following an operation on Darling Street, Westmoreland on Thursday. The wanted man has been identified as Japhet Doman, otherwise called Bimmer, of Barrett Hall, St. James. He was arrested by detectives assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch. Reports are that about 4:30 a.m., an operation was carried out in the Darling Street area where a premises was searched and the man, along with 4 other occupants, were held. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is reminding the public that it is an offense to harbor fugitives. Anyone with information on wanted persons and their whereabouts are asked to contact the nearest police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Man accused of raping St. Thomas woman found dead hours later. The police are probing an incident in which a man was gunned down on Wednesday in 11 miles in Bull Bay, St. Thomas, hours after he was accused of raping a woman from the community. The deceased man has only been identified by his alias Chop Chop. Reports are that the woman went to a wake about 1 a.m. Wednesday in the area of 11 miles. When she arrived home, she was pounced upon by an armed man who allegedly raped her. The man then fled the area and the incident was reported to the police. Hours later, the police were notified that a man was found suffering from bullet wounds in another section of 11 miles area. He later succumbed to his injuries. The victim reportedly identified the man as her attacker. Man charged after confessing to killing of 6-year-old. A man said to be behind the shooting death of 6-year-old girl on Tex Lane in Kingston on Monday has been charged after confessing to the killing. James Smith, a 55-year-old resident of Tex Lane, who was beaten by residents after the killing, admitted to police that he was handling an illegal firearm when it went off. The bullet from the weapon fatally injured Tamara McCollum from Solitaire Road in the Kingston. Smith has been charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. It was reported that about 4 p.m., Smith was repairing an illegal firearm when a round of ammunition was discharged, hitting the child. She later died in hospital. Special day for special nurses. 25 nurses from 5 hospitals in Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Catherine were elated on Tuesday when the Smyrna Foundation and the Smyrna Paper Productions Limited hailed them for their dedicated hard work before and during the novel coronavirus pandemic. The nurses were from the University Hospital of the West Indies, the National Chest Hospital, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, Kingston Public Hospital and the Spanish Town Hospital, were treated to a number of gifts, including a full body massage and spa treatment at GenCare Farm and Day Spa. Robert White, the managing director of the Smyrna Foundation, the Smyrna Paper Productions Limited, underscored that the nurses were pampered for the entire day. For standing on your feet all day and everything, this is just a drop in the bucket, but at the same time, We are grateful for your families to loan you out to us in the public. We take the time out to do what we can to try and put a smile on your faces, said White. 29-year-old Lomwardia Fletcher, a critical care nurse at the University Hospital of the West Indies for the past 5 years, was among those pampered. According to Fletcher, tears came to her eyes when she first learned that she was selected among their special batch of nurses. She noted that the pandemic has dealt healthcare workers a raw deal, with them having to face long hours work and coping with the deaths almost every day. Hospitals hit by shortage in supplies. Healthcare workers across the island are complaining of shortage in supplies in hospitals, blaming the scarcity and lack of Health Ministry's payment arrears with hospital supplies. Workers who spoke with reporters said items in short supply include toilet paper, syringe, blood tubes, personal protective equipment, bed rolls, gowns, antibiotics, patron pump inhibitor, and prostate medication. One health worker said red, purple, and blue top blood tubes were all critical to the functioning of any healthcare facility are also short. Red is for blood chemistry proxy of kidney or liver function, blood glucose level, cross-match to determine blood group, HIV test, and syphilis test to name a few of its functions for the red top tubes. Blue is for the PT, PTT, and INR, which assesses likelihood of a patient bleeding or forming clots. Purple top tubes are for the complete blood count, blood film, and CD4 count level in HIV. Those are some of its uses. Without them, it impedes a lot of our work, the health worker stated. Another healthcare worker said the shortages have been ongoing, but if continued, it would severely hamper the fight against a possible fourth wave of COVID-19 and managing the Omicron variant should it get to our shores. Further, one healthcare worker at the management level said the shortages are due to the lack of payment to suppliers that are owed millions by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. One supplier, who asked not to be named, said despite budgetary allocations being made to pay debts, the ministry owes them millions for over a year to the point they had to stop supplying disposables to the sector. You can't be owing me money at 90, 120 days, 1 year, there is no interest. It puts me under pressure and the tax department comes down on you when you owe money and threaten to take you to court. It's really horrible, the supplier stated. Another supplier, who also asked not to be named in fear of losing the contract with the health ministry, but said that the company was owed a very significant amount of money in the millions. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, in responding to the claims yesterday held at the Pegasus Hotel in Jamaica, said from time to time there are payment issues with suppliers, which is sometimes the ministry has to admit and accept. He, however, said they try not to go beyond 90 days credit period. We are trying to ensure the 60 to 90 days in the maximum wait if there are no discrepancies in payments. Bear in mind that payment takes place at different levels. There are payments done at the regional level, the ministry level, and payments that are done at the agency level, like National Health Fund, depending on what is being procured, Dr. Tufton noted. The health minister said payment arrears are usually due to budgeting and cash flow issues. When that occurs, we try to resolve them, but I'll be the first to say from time to time we do run into the issue when payments are in arrears up to 90 days and beyond that. But we try to keep it within the 60 to 90 days period, and if it gets out of that, we try to move in and resolve it as quickly as possible, he said. Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton said he would not place the blame of shortage solely on the lack of payment. The periodic shortage of any particular item could be due to many things, so I am not challenging a particular case that may arise where they might not have an N95 mask or they are running low. The efficient delivery of supplies is a function of not just procuring it, it is also the logistic management of the supplies. NHF plays a big role and the hospitals play a big role, he said. Tufton added, generally speaking, I have obviously no doubt in my mind that the government has provided the resources when needed to purchase the critical supplies for COVID, whether it be PPE, sanitizers, ventilators. To the extent that any particular hospital or doctor is out, it would normally be a case of managing the situation. What we would ask them to do is to report to the respective authorities at the institutional level. If it is needed to be elevated, I am sure their organized groups, associations will elevate that further up. When that happens, as you can see in the past, we are very responsive, we listen. I don't think anybody can doubt that we listen and we try to resolve, and we have several incidents of tension, if you will, between perceptions and reality, and we're trying to meet and iron it out, whether it is with the nurses, doctors, or otherwise. We will continue to take the posture as it will require all of us to make it work. CCA Partners President moves the distance company from crossfire between former directors. President and CEO of CCA Capital Partners Limited, Andrew Simpson, says his company has been caught in a crossfire between former directors of the Clarendon Alumna Company, CAP. Simpson's comments come 3 weeks after exclusive reports on the details of his company's contractual engagement with CAP. Last week, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who now has portfolio responsibility for CAP, told the House of Representatives that the contract with CCA Capital Partners will not be renewed. Mr. Simpson says his company's dealing with CAP can stand up to scrutiny.
The contract in question drew scrutiny regarding the process by which the former board had gone about its renewal with CCA Capital Partners. The former chairman of CAP, Norman Reed, resigned in protest against the decision to renew the contract for a 5th time. Then Portfolio Minister Robert Montague also moved to dissolve the CAP board in response to the controversy. Mr. Simpson says his company has been caught up in a struggle between the former directors of CAP.
My name and the name of my firm have been mentioned in the media in an adverse way, and myself and my company have been caught in a crossfire of what appears to be a dispute among former board of directors of Clarendon Alumina Production.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has since transferred CAP from the Robert Montague-led mining ministry to Dr. Nigel Clark's finance ministry. Dr. Clark says his newly appointed board will not proceed with the contract with CCA Capital Partners. But the CCA boss is defending his engagement with CAP. He has also sought to lay out what he says are the facts surrounding the issue.
Much of what has been placed in the public domain is a misrepresentation of the facts. The facts are, we did not have consecutive 6-month contracts. The final proposed contract was not valued at United States $30,000 per month. I am not a member of any political party. Neither am I a constituent of any minister. I am not even enumerated.
Mr. Simpson says he wants his company to be left out of the dispute between the former CAP directors.
I would prefer that my company's contracts, which can stand up to any scrutiny, are not used by anyone as a tool to bring accusations against others. I ask that the good name and integrity of me and my firm not be sullied or defamed. Please leave us out of it.
The Auditor General has reportedly taken an interest in the procurement processes at Clarendon Alumina Production CAP. The Finance Minister has welcomed her intervention.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.